Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Happy Monday. And we are back and better than ever, ready for another amazing guest. As you all know, we bring customers onto the show to interview them, to get their experience, get their story, get their challenges, get their wins, and try to get a real world perspective of what it's like to actually go through a course like ours and launch a business and become a leader in your niche or industry. And this morning is no different. We actually have a former waitress on sharing strategies to learn, to launch, to generate leads daily, and build her audience. And so let's jump right into things. With that being said, Courtney, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Excellent. Where are you calling in from?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, one of my favorite cities. Are you right? You're not right on the strip. Nobody lives right on the strip, right?
No. About 30 minutes.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. What motivated you? What led you? What was the reason why you came online and wanted to start a business in the first place?
I wanted to be home with my kids. Also wanted to help out financially. I was working as a server for 10 years on the Las Vegas Strip, and I would work 8 to 10 to 12 hours. So after I had, like, when I was younger, yeah, it's cool. But after I had kids, I'm like, I can't be gone from my kids for 12 hours. Like, I'll miss everything. And plus they're in school. Like, I had to do something different.
Yeah, well, I know all about, I mean, I go to Vegas quite often, and yeah, that's a demanding job. I can imagine that not only being gone, but also coming home, you're tired, you're exhausted, right?
Yeah.
So I think parents can relate to that, even if you're not a parent, right? You know, how much time are we spending um, in places that we don't want to spend, and that is certainly an element of work, right? You're always going to be doing things that you don't want to do. There's no doubt about that, and there's going to be things here that you're going to do that you're not going to want to do. But I think some of it is geographically, where are you while you're doing those things, right? I'd much rather be crying in a Lamborghini than a Pinto, right? Same thing. I'd rather be doing hard things at my home than hard things in a smoky hotel or a restaurant or something of that nature. For me, it was a construction site, a hot Florida construction site. So what attracted you? What light bulbs went off as you were going through our challenge? Do you remember when you were being exposed initially to the ideas of selling information, of the core 4 ways to sell information? Even affiliate marketing, selling somebody else's digital product. I mean, was it something else? Sales funnels? Or was it, community? Did you listen to Wake Up Legendary? Like, what were some of the things that had light bulbs going off for you and made you say, yeah, I want to learn this stuff. I want to learn it here and I want to launch a business?
So it was a little bit of everything. I did watch Wake Up Legendary, but so before this, I tried to do affiliate marketing without any training. I didn't launch. I created a Facebook profile and was like sharing links, which totally illegal and wrong, but it was too much work for little pay. Basically, I came across a video from another mom. Actually, it was a nanny on Instagram talking about this, and I went through the course, and I was just like, what? Like, how did I not know this? Like, the sales funnel just made so much sense to me. Like, I was like, this is amazing. So, I don't know. I went through the 15-day challenge, so it just blew my mind. It blew my mind. I went through everything, and I was like, I can do this. I can do this 100%. If they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. And did you start seeing where you were going wrong and start understanding the things that were happening out there on the internet suddenly a lot more clearly?
Oh, I just realized I was doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it
Cool.
was very informative.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So what was it like for you when you started to actually get ready to launch? What were some of the things that were limiting beliefs that popped up for you, scary things, hard things. We were just talking about uncomfortable things a moment ago. I mean, it couldn't have been all unicorns and butterflies for you. What was a challenge? Where could have you possibly not launched? Like if you hadn't have overcome a specific limiting belief or challenge that you were having. What was that process like of launching? And it may have been exciting for you too. Let me know about the pros or some of those positive feelings, but also want to know what was hard for you around that, actually implementing.
Actually getting on social media, showing my face on social media. I've never created a reel. I've had Facebook and Instagram, but it's been pictures of my kids or me. I've never done anything like this. So learning everything, you know, taking the time to learn the skills and then actually being able to. I had my Instagram set up and then I was just like, oh, okay, am I really gonna do this? Like, am I really gonna start? I don't know. It's kind of scary to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and know that sometimes people aren't going to be so nice and be okay with it.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's great. A lot of times people aren't going to be so nice, but yeah, I mean, if you get sometimes, then you're doing great, right? I mean, because people can really, especially behind the computer, be real keyboard warriors. But you say be okay with it. How do you be okay with it? Was it shocking for you at first, or kind of pump help? Was it kind of like a nail in your tire at first? And what's the patch for that? What how have you how do you be okay with that? Is it your vision is bigger? Is it something simpler?
Well, so the first person that ever was pretty rude to me, it hurt. Like I was just like, I'm just over here trying to share, good information, trying to help
You're like,
people. And yeah, I was just like, dang, okay. But after that I was like, no, I'm not doing anything wrong.
"Mm,
I'm not being untrue. I'm just trying to give you guys valuable information and help you. Like if this is something you want to do, like it's real. I'm doing it. I am doing it. I never thought I'd be doing something like this, but here I am. And I'm just trying to share that information for others that are trying to, better their lives in a non-traditional way.
yeah." Yeah, it's shocking. It's definitely something that is will throw you off your game at first. And as Melissa said, that means you're doing great. That means you're doing something, right? A lot of times, if people are not reacting, then to your marketing, right? Now, let's be very specific about this, friends. We're not just trying to live in, drama cycles, uh, but we're marketers, and great marketing creates big reactions, big positive reactions, big negative reactions. It just creates reaction. That's what marketing is supposed to do. It's supposed to either pull or repel. And it's okay to have half or even a small percentage of your audience be pulled and others be repelled. Now, people are not all repel doesn't mean that they're going to be mean and make hateful comments. Repel just means that it's not for them. And then there's going to be a certain percentage of those people that it's not for them, who are going to be mean, who are going to be inappropriate or immature. But the idea, and I think that a lot of us are uncomfortable with this and don't really realize this at first, the goal of marketing is not to get everybody to like you. Have you realized that? And has that allowed you to hone your message in and get more clarity about your audience?
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm fine with it now. I just scroll past.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so, talk to us a little bit about building audience. I mean, you've done a pretty good job. You've got over 80,000 followers on Instagram. We're going to talk about your email, email lead list building kind of process. But what I mean, talk to us about starting with 0 followers, which is where we all start, and kinda how do you overcome that, what feels like a mountain, talking to people when you have no authority, followers, results, nothing. How did you break onto the scene? What videos did you create? Do you remember? Walk us through that kind of starting with 0 in those first few weeks of actually creating content and getting out of your own way to get started.
So I actually used other people for inspiration. I would scroll, what is it, like your For You page or whatever that's called. I would scroll that and just kind of get inspiration from others. I wouldn't copy, but I would recreate that kind of content. Um, and a lot of trial and error, honestly. Some things work, some things don't. And I think I just kind of had to keep going. And then as a month passed, I would go back and look at the content that was doing the best and try to recreate that content, and just kind of kept doing that same process, like trial and error, do something for a month, 2 months, and then go back, see what the best, like what's getting the most saves or shares or most engagement, and then trying to recreate that.
Mm. Yeah. That's a, I mean, and really what you just described is how we all learn to walk, if you think about it, and how we learn everything in life is by looking and watching others, modeling others. Walking is the most pure example that I can think of. And we literally watch other people walk, and then we stand up and try to take those same steps. And we do that in jobs too. If you think about it, when we come onto the job, we look at how other people are doing the job, we look at what they're doing, and then we do what they do. And so coming on to the marketing scene, creating content, that is, I mean, and I've done the same thing my whole career. It's modeling what people are doing, but making it my own and not being afraid to make it my own, not being afraid to try something different, not being afraid to put my own spin on it. How have you allowed your personality to shine through? Because as you said, you're putting your face was something that was nerve wracking, which it is for most people. 1 out of 100 on the show have said, yeah, making videos was not the hard thing for me. That was not really a big deal. The majority, 99%, it's like a nerve wracking thing. How have you, especially when your personality and your kind of who you are is in some respects the main differentiating factor of building a personal brand, how have you gotten more comfortable on camera to allow your personality to come through more?
Consistency, showing up every day. I show up 3 times a day. So just, I guess the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be and the better you're going to get. You're not going to be perfect in the beginning, but you have to be willing to show up every day, because eventually you're going to get better and better and better and better. And then, my first beginning videos are not good, but you learn from them. And I think just getting more comfortable showing up daily, it just kind of gets easier. You feel more comfortable.
Yeah. Now you said kids. Does that mean you have multiples?
I have 2.
And I would assume that the first weeks or months with your first baby were like, oh my God, I'm going to break this thing and drop it, or drop it and break it, right?
Right.
And then as time went on, you got a little bit more comfortable slinging him or her around. And
Yeah.
and then by the second baby, when that baby came along, it was just kind of like you're changing its diaper in your sleep, kind of like, right?
Yeah.
Not only probably because you were tired, but also because you knew what you were doing, right?
Exactly.
Same thing in marketing and creating videos. Is that what I hear you saying? Is that, yeah, it's, you think you're going to break it. You think you're going to break your future. You think you're going to break your phone, the internet. You think, it's going to just go to hell in a handbag on those first videos. But what I hear you saying is that you become more comfortable in more natural as time goes on. I mean, the word you used was consistency, right? Do you think a lot of people are overthinking it, looking for a secret somewhere that doesn't exist?
I think so, yes. The only thing I can say, if you are having trouble creating content or feel like maybe it's not doing great, lighting, make sure you have good lighting, and don't stay still. Like,
Mm.
be moving. People are on social media to be entertained. They're not here to, honestly, they're not here to learn about whatever you're sharing. They're here to be entertained. So, yeah, movement. If you're just standing still, try something different.
You're saying movement, so I'm over here moving, you know.
But yeah, and you're probably grabbing people's attention too. They're like, what is he doing?
Well, I'm a marketer, you know. I know how to grab people's attention, you know. And what's hilarious about just me throwing the hat was it was never a premeditated thing. I wasn't like, I am going. Here's part of my business plan. I am going to do lives and throw my hat, you know, and people are going to love it. Yeah. I mean, one day I wanted to throw something, and it was like, shit, what can I throw that's not going to break? Son of a gun. You know? And it's kind of an attention grabber, I would think, watching it. So sometimes you got to try things, right? You gotta see what feels right. You got to see what catches on. I would say, you know, all productions, all product development, so much in entertainment and even education is trial and error. It's trying something and seeing what catches on, seeing what people like, and then doing more of that, you know. How in terms of like lighting and movement, what are some of the things that you do, or examples of how you've kind of integrated that into your videos? Where you I mean, is it natural light? Are you walking around? Like, are you filming yourself doing things using B-roll? Like, what are some of the things that, you know, are examples of those suggestions that you just gave?
Ring light. It's a ring natural light. Or outside light, recording outside, but like you said, B-roll, cleaning the dishes, mopping the floor, playing with your kids if you're willing to put them on social media. Just your daily activity, and then putting text on screen, but making sure that that text doesn't blend in with the background. It needs to like pop, catch someone's attention. You got to stop the scroll. These are all things I kind of learned just through trial and error, though. Like I said, seeing what worked, seeing what video got more views or more likes or more shares, and then just trying to recreate that type of video.
Stop the scroll. Yeah, it sounds like a movement or something, like a protest. Stop the scroll. Yeah, but that's what we're trying to do, right? It's like, that's what a hook is at the beginning of your video. It's one of the most important parts of your video. It's hooking somebody in. We all marketers, one of the best and easiest examples to understand is just a cliffhanger at the beginning of a movie or a show, right? And the producers of movies know that you're sitting down in the mindset that you're going to watch a movie. But they also know if you don't get hooked in the first few minutes, there is a possibility you will turn it off, get bored, and move on to something else. So they play what's called a cliffhanger, right? And that oftentimes is starting the movie in the middle of a scene, at the end of the movie, or in the middle of the movie, that leaves you like, what the hell was that? What did I just, oh my gosh, what did I, then it takes it back to the beginning of the story and starts the show or the movie. And that's the same exact strategy that we're using here, is giving somebody some sort of a look into where the video is going to end, or what they're going to learn if they watch the video, and or something that's wild or crazy, or,
Really.
something that just, yeah, some sort of movement or weird. I mean, I've seen people do all kinds of crazy stuff, fall into the screen, like kind of like, just anything that can catch somebody's attention. Nowadays, the weirder the better, right? Because people are seeing so much weird stuff on the internet. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your email, in lead generation kind of process and strategies. We talk a lot about building an email list here, generating leads. Leads are the lifeblood of your business. That's the whole point of this whole thing, is to not only build an audience, but also build a database of people that you can market to, who know, like, and trust you, who are expecting your emails. Talk to us about when that really clicked for you, and what sort of, just what's your outlook, just from a 30,000-foot perspective, about the importance of building an email list, how this fits into your overall strategy, before we dive into more specifics.
Being able to stay in contact with the potential, like, your people that come. So I've had people that have followed me from the beginning of my journey, which was in August, that are reaching out to me now, being like, I've been watching you for 6 months and I want to get started. So that email list is important, because if I didn't have it, I would have been gone I would have been gone 8 months ago or 9 months ago, and never been in contact with those people again. I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
All right,
Can't.
sorry, well,
Okay.
I like to mute myself and then talk to myself sometimes during the show. Um, yes, totally makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, and it's simply and well put. And so, what are some of the best tips that you can give around, generating those leads, and actually getting people to want to subscribe? And then, let's start with just subscribe to your list.
So I think it starts with your content. Um, I give valuable, relatable content. I started doing like part one, part two, part three
Mm,
type content, where I give a piece of information and then I'm like, comment a keyword for my free beginner's guide, and then follow along and come back tomorrow for the next part. Um, I feel like the more information and value you give, like, if you feel like you're giving too much, give more.
mm.
And then eventually, of course, those people are going to be spiking interest. Like, what is she talking about? And now you're giving them something for free. Like, okay, well, here's my free beginner's guide that's going to go over it even more. And now they're willing to give you, the email.
Yeah. And so, what about, email? Actually, writing copy and sending emails. What is that? Why? Well, you're smiling. Tell what's coming up for you around that.
That one's been a little struggle. It's getting better as I go. I started to do like broadcasts. Basically, if something exciting happens, I try to keep in touch with my email list. And I'm not always pitching something. Sometimes I'm just like coming on here. I sent out a broadcast just saying like, oh my gosh, I've been invited to speak on Wake Up Legendary. And this is something that when I went through the course, I was like, that's going to be me. And now it's here. And so I like to share my wins with my email list. So it's not always like pitching something, trying to build, I guess, that know, like, and trust with someone.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been something I definitely work on and getting better with time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love to hear that. I mean, you realize that you're new at this. How long have you been doing this exactly?
I started in August last year. So
Okay.
going on 9 months.
Wow. I mean, golly, you're brand new. And you're, full time at home now? Did I read that in your application or your
Yeah, full-time mom.
questionnaire?
Mhm.
Huh?
Full-time mom.
Yeah, good for you. So, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment for you, and I don't know all the details. All the details don't specifically matter. There's been a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication for you to get to a point to where you can um, achieve the goal of not going in working 8 to 10 hours a week as a waitress on the Las Vegas Strip. I mean, that's very clear. And you've outlined a lot of what the things that you've done and overcome here on the show this morning, and that's really helpful. It certainly takes time, time, things I must earn. Uh, there's no there's no shortcuts uh, to achievement. Everybody has to get on the road. It's a journey. Nothing happens overnight. 9 months is still a long time to commit to something. What has this journey taught you about yourself, and how has it helped you in terms of doing something and sticking with it here for 9 months to the point of seeing results?
Well, I can do hard things. That's for sure. I did not want to come on here. I was so nervous and I was like, nope, I can do it. I can do it. Um, I guess hold on. So what did you ask me? You said,
Let's start with, what have you learned about yourself along this process? Like, I asked the people this, and you said I can do hard things. Is there anything else that stands out to you that you've learned about yourself along this journey?
I'm going blank right now. I don't know why, but I'm going blank.
It's okay. Let me ask it a different way. Has this boosted, you can do hard things, has it boosted your self-esteem in any ways? Has
Oh,
it boosted
oh yeah.
your
So
confidence?
more confident for sure. Um, like I said, I'm on here. I never in my life would think that I would be willing to put myself out there in front of people. I'm actually starting to do lives on Instagram. Never in my life did I think I would have the confidence to get
Mm,
on the internet and just talk and answer questions and just be willing to be vulnerable.
mm, yeah. And you're doing great this morning. This feels natural. I mean, it feels like you've done this, 100 or 200 times. I would never. I think that, again, going back to some elements of the liking gap, which is the phenomenon that we all experience, where we think people are going to like us less than they do. And I think also we think that we look worse or more awkward than we actually do. The reality is we all have our awkwardness, and part of that is what makes us who we are and what makes us likable. Kind of our little awkwardness or our unique personalities. Unique means I might be more reserved. I might have certain nervous tendencies. I mean, and I've seen it all interviewing 1,000 clients here on the show. I've seen all of the ways in which, because most of them have been new, you know what I mean? Most of them, a lot of times, this live is their first time that they've ever, or within the first few times. Um, so what advice would you give to somebody, or if you could go back and give advice to yourself back at the beginning, what would you what would you fly and land on your shoulder 9 months ago and say?
It's gonna happen. Just keep going. You're gonna do it. Like you can do hard things. You can be comfortable being uncomfortable because it's only gonna help you grow. And that's something I had to learn too, was being comfortable being uncomfortable, because without it I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no doubt, no doubt. And it's a beautiful thing to um to start to embrace that uncomfortability, because you really start to experience things in life that you know are kind of, like the little meme says, there's like this big, it's a circle inside of a circle, and it's like, your comfort zone ends here, and it's like, here's outside of the circle is where the magic happens. And it's true. It's true. It's like, I've never or rarely gone to an outing or a social event or something to where I didn't want to go, but then I didn't have an amazing time, when I went, because I can get kind of hermity, and I can get kind of, um, uh, you know, um, uh, what's the word? Not outgoing, but very
Introvert.
introverted. Yeah. Um, I think a lot of us, that even though we might seem out extroverted on video, we are actually introverted.
Oh yeah.
I know
100%.
I am.
Mhm.
And so, this is a practice of kind of embracing and exploring the extroverted part of my person. And all of us have it, right? Even if you're introverted, it doesn't mean you can't be extroverted for a period of time. Introverted and extroverted simply mean how you recharge, and if you recharge and feel charged up from being with people, then you have more of a tendency to be extroverted. If you recharge by being alone, you're more introverted. And I know for me, I recharge more being alone, right? Because when I'm with people, I can interact and I can be social, and I can even perform at an event or on a live, but it takes a lot out of me, you know. And so I need to recharge alone. Where there are people who fully recharge from being with people and walk away from the experience feeling fully rejuvenated. Um, and so it's interesting, and I love just how you're pushing yourself to get uncomfortable in the results that are happening as a result of that. So thanks for coming on today, my friend. You've been wonderful. It's been so great to talk to you. People have been loving the nuggets you've been giving, and I can't wait to continue to follow your journey and have you back on the show, hopefully in the near future, and continue to stay posted on what you're up to. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, Courtney, we'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. All right, my friends, you can go follow, and learn from Courtney over on Instagram at make.money with Courtney. And that's a dot between make and money. Make.money with Courtney. Well, my friends, it is Monday, and it's a brand new opportunity to start over, which I love. I love Mondays. There was a time where I didn't love Mondays so much. If you're in that time right now to where you're not loving Mondays so much, then hey, do something about it. First and foremost, get a different perspective, and use this. Even if you have a job, if you are working 6, 8, 10 hours somewhere, find the pockets of your day to work on your dream, on your goals, on your business, and you'll be surprised about what you can accomplish, even on quote the side. And get better with time management. Work on some of these all important foundational elements now, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. You're not going to be sucky at your job or miserable and then suddenly be extraordinarily happy in your own business. You have to figure out a way to be able to fall in love with the process. And that's the process of having a job and starting a business is a journey. It's a process. It requires you to find a way to make it happen, find pockets, be better with time management. And if you are, if you are starting your business, you are launching, you are learning right now, then, now every day you can start over. And I also want to remind you that if your day starts off crappy, you can start it over too. You don't have to just ride the wave of a crappy day. take a break, step away, come back, stop putting so much emphasis and importance on things that don't matter. Also, is something that I would highly encourage all of you to do. Figure out what are the big levers in your business that you need to pull on a daily basis, and focus on checking those things off your list first, and then get to the other things that are less important, such as the scrolling, the researching, the fiddling around with your funnel, things of that nature. All right, my friends, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday and every day. You're so important. You're everything. We wouldn't be here without you, obviously. But we appreciate you. We have a lot of moms, a lot of wonderful women in this community, and I want to shout you out, celebrate you, lift you up, not only, yesterday and today, but every day. And so far, we've done a great job of that. We want to continue to do that because you are important, you are powerful, and you can do amazing things. It's actually, amazing to watch what so many women in this community have accomplished, and we're so proud of that. And so keep up the great work. Thank you again to Courtney for an amazing episode, all the nuggets, all the experience, all the wisdom in pushing through the uncomfortability. Love, love, love it. Thank you so much. So glad you came. So glad you said yes. And everybody, my friends, get out of here. Have a great Monday. Be legendary. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Peace.